All right, Chelsea fans, welcome back to another episode. That's right, of the London is Blue podcast. Hopefully, your favorite Chelsea podcast out there, and a part of the Men in Blazers Media Network. Dan, one of your hosts here, alongside Nick, and we are getting into this one, the Djurgårdens review. That's right, Chelsea getting it done on the day, making it happen. Multiple goals for Nico Jackson, an opportunity to effectively, maybe not in pen, but at least in some pretty strong pencil, write their name into the consideration for the final matchup for the UECL here, Nick. It's some pretty decent vibes on a Thursday evening, the first day of May in 2025, where Chelsea are at least 1 foot in the competition now, in the final, and closer to a trophy this season, which, hey, didn't happen last year.
Jake, you know what to do. Cue our stinger right now. And you know what, Dan, after we're back from that wonderful stinger, that angelic voice that you just heard, we certainly took the right step today. I will say that. And that's pretty much all that you can really hope for, especially with a big red giant looming at the weekend that you need to go figure out how to extinguish. So there's a lot of things on the line this time of season. We went through the schedule about 150 times over the last 2 weeks. I don't think we need to do it again. I think we kind of know what's on for the rest of the year now. And so, get through this one, get through it relatively easily, which we did. And, I think just give yourself some breathing room so that ahead of Newcastle, you don't necessarily have to try super, super hard to advance to the final.
That is a good place to be and gives us a lot to talk about in terms of how Enzo Maresca and Chelsea will look to set up in the next leg of this tie, considering it comes in between Liverpool and Newcastle, two crucial games for Chelsea as we think about what is going to happen for this team in related to their Champions League aspirations for next season. I think before we do that, though, we want to talk about some other type of champions that exist in the Chelsea football world and sphere, Nick. 6 times in a row. It doesn't get old. Chelsea winning the league is just damn good every single time. And again, we're going to talk about the men's team. We're going to talk about Enzo. We're going to talk about all those other things. But it's on the top. You have to talk about it. It happened this week, midweek, not a weekend, so we didn't get to celebrate it the same type of way. But this is wonderful. Sonny Bonpastor, first league title for Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, I will do a longer video about this on YouTube. So for those wondering, hey, Nick, where's that video? It's coming. It's just very busy work week and such. That'll be coming next week. But we will talk about it at the end of the show. I just want to say, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, 6 WSL championships in a row. The scope of that is staggering. The commitment is staggering. The away fan support on a Wednesday night was incredible up in Manchester. This team definitely deserved it. Wire-to-wire champions, and have a chance to be undefeated league champions if they win or draw their last 2 games. It's an astounding achievement, and I think just at the top of the show and at the end of the show, we're going to pay tribute to them. Dan, we also want to pay tribute to, before we dive into all the specifics about this one, some sad news. I know it's a hard pivot, but sometimes it's what you got to do in show business. Paul Langan, who is at CFCW on Twitter, if you've ever interacted with him or ever met him before. We met him when we've been over kind of earlier on in our trip days. He unfortunately passed away after a short illness, and I think the whole Chelsea journalism community, if you follow Naz or Matt or Liam or Simon or any of the guys that we've had on the show in the past, Paul was a beloved member of that community, of that journalist community, and delivered a lot of Chelsea news for a very, very long time, and certainly just want to send our condolences to him and his family who are grieving the loss.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough to think about in the last 2 major episodes we've done back to back on the Everton review. In this one now, we had to talk about a significant member of the Chelsea community passing away. And Paul was not just a great champion for Chelsea, but I think, beloved by people who knew him, and also great champion. And reason why I think we're talking about it in relation to the women's team, huge ambassador for the work that it would happen on that side of the pitch as well too. So I think just again, strong condolences to his family. It's going to be a huge miss for our kind of wonderful community, and it was always a good read as well too. So just thoughts with him and his family, and we will kind of take it in stride. But we will again do the hard pivot and go to some 3-word match reviews, Nick, to set the stage for this match that we played that I guess was football on a turf. And you had a chance to enjoy that ball, really just having some extra zip on it today. So some Hellmans right there for you.
Some extra spin, especially on one of the goals that we'll talk about in a second. Pablo P with Damac, we're back. In relation to the new sponsor, I'm not sure if Damac is the right way to say it. Who knows? They're only around for 4 games. Who cares? Matt Fitz with Brentford helped us. Dan, any thoughts on the first scenario of 2 scenarios that I thought, hey, maybe this might change the old top 5 race there?
I did believe, Nick, that there were some thoughts that you had projected in the last episode that it was going to be a pretty easy 3 points, maybe, for our friends in Nottingham Forest. Did not turn out to be the case today. 2-0 victory to Brentford means we are level on points and ahead on goal difference and still in 5th position in the table in the Premier League as we head into the weekend. So any points you could pick up, any lack of embarrassment you could have in terms of allowing that goal differential to slip would be phenomenal this weekend, considering that Chelsea now in driver's position, particularly considering that last match of the season is when it's going to get decided.
Yeah.
Like the Nottingham Forest game and the Chelsea game together, last game of the season, will be the decider.
It's more likely now that it is, for sure, after they lost this one. So yeah, that's enough about the Premier League. CMXCL with I Miss Palmer with a sad
bro
face. Yeah, me too, man.
Palmer misses Palmer at this point. Yeah. He looks at the mirror. He doesn't recognize himself anymore.
No. Kyle with In the Final, making a bold prediction there. James Lake with Jackson is back with an asterisk. In the asterisk, it says, in a very specific and limited context. Great goal, though. Okay. And then Chris with one of my favorite handles in the world, Trash Tweets Only. That's just lovely. Hasta la final. Our boy is in Spanish there. So, Dan, what are your 3 words that you want to encapsulate this just tremendous occasion of beating a Swedish team in the semifinal of a European competition?
Look, I think it was just vibes, baby. That's all this game was. I mean, Cucurella was anywhere he wanted to be on the pitch, and it was really just absolute pandemonium in terms of where people were and is Jadon Sancho playing left wing back right now? Maybe. Is Marc Cucurella trying to again figure out how he can get to 10 goal contributions this season off of this match?
Our boy has a clause in his contract or something, because there's no way.
It was again, it's been really fun to watch. Again, I think we'll talk about it. To me, though, it's like an ultimate get right game. Like you want a little bit of opportunity, so you can score some goals, get some people in some positions, feel comfortable again about who you are, how you're playing, how you're interacting. So again, you go with either of those, get right game or just vibes, baby. How about you?
I went with a Swedish delight. If you've ever
Timeless.
had one, yep, very good. And I will just say about the atmosphere at our friends Djurgårdens stadium. They booed the Pope in a very Philadelphia type of manner, where Philadelphia has just been known to boo Santa Claus or any sort of light bringer in the world. They booed the minute of silence for the Pope, which I thought was a fascinating turn. It was a pretty lively place in there. It looked like kind of a fun place to watch a football match. So I think just credit to them and their atmosphere. I wouldn't have booed the Pope personally, but I could see that the atmosphere is pretty hot in there, and they did a great job. They kept it up the entire time. Simon Johnson said they only knew one song, but it was a song they kept singing. So good atmosphere.
Oh, look, we'll get our first ad break out of the way. When we come back, we'll get on the match details and the specifics here. But look, some ads for your earballs. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. Okay, so again, match details was Djurgården this past Thursday, May the 1st in the UECL. And the scoreline 1-4. Jadon Sancho got started bright and early in the 12th minute. I'm surprised they didn't give that as an own goal. At least on SofaScore, they didn't give it as an own goal. So I'm going to let it stay.
It was on target. It was on target. It was fine.
I know it's the type of thing they nitpick on, where like they take the goal away, even though the shot was really good. So it was a really good shot. Nani Medawake in the 43rd minute, Nico Jackson the 59th and 65th with some wonderful assists from Djurgården to make it happen.
They love him. Come on.
I didn't realize he had such a big Swedish following. Yeah, Swedish House Mafia pulling for him right there. And then you had LMAU with the 68th minute goal to pull one back for them, which destroyed the clean sheet. I mean, Jorgensen also had a couple like one or two saves that were pretty nice. Yeah. So I kind of felt bad for him that like we clearly did not decide to mark on that header at all.
No. Yeah, that was a shambles. Trev gets caught out pointing and hoping for an offside that never came. And yeah, it was an awful goal to give away.
Oh, look, just to remind you again, it was Philip between the sticks. You had Mark, Benoit, Tosin, and Josh as the back line there. Enzo.
First name basis, baby. Let's go.
Look, it's a casual Thursday night, man. Reese and Enzo, as well as Nani, Kiernan, Jadon, and also Tyreek up top. That's right.
So weird. It's so weird to do the first names.
Look, you did get some subs too as well. You had Trevo coming on the 46th minute, Cole coming on the 46th minute, Moises coming on the 46th minute, Nico coming on the 46th minute, or Nicholas if you prefer. And then also in the 88th minute, a debut for Reggie Walsh, senior debut for the Chelsea men's team.
Young Reginald.
And with a cracking shot that deserved the goal. I was when I saw that fly, I'm like, please let him fumble it in. Become a hologram for half a second. Let that thing go into the back of the net. Didn't happen. I wish it
didn't happen. Yeah. Unused subs. I'll just finish this one out for you on the first names.
You gonna go all first name?
We're going. I mean, we're closing it out in the right way. Lucas, Ted, Levi, Mallow, Matthias, and Pedro, and Shimmy on the bench, which is lovely. And look, the old. Can we just quickly talk about the subs here at halftime? Clearly, a planned 4 subs out of 5. It's what you do in FIFA. I was furious about this because I thought the team was playing really well. I don't understand doing 4 subs at halftime in a game that you're just dominating. It just doesn't make any sense.
It turned into a fitness exercise. It was a fitness exercise at that point.
I get it. I'm just like,
I mean, how much better though? I mean, like we were going to talk about this, but I'll jump into it now. Just how much better do you feel seeing Nico Jackson score 2 more goals heading into the weekend against Liverpool? We're now in the last 2 matches here. He has 3 goals. Like that's a good thing. That's a good thing that Nico Jackson is like on target. The targeting computer is actually putting them into the net and not missing them completely. Like that is a confidence builder.
I get it.
Come on.
He's trying to get these guys goals in the best way they can. It's like scoring against a Swedish side is not the same as scoring against Virgil van Dijk. I just, let's just be honest. It's a mental
blocker, man. I mean, like you're telling me if Cole scored tonight, you would have been like, you wouldn't have been like,
Virgil's not passing him the ball at the weekend, Dan. He's not giving him the assist.
Virgil's still celebrating, my man. You don't know what's going to happen there. Sunday could be wild.
Oh, God. All right. Anyway.
All right. Well, let's talk about stats because those are fun too. Chelsea had an expected 2.17 goals to the 4 that they scored. Some big assists from the other team, which probably helped that out a lot. 3 big chances, 12 total shots. So some really nice shot conversion for you there, Nick, in terms of goals to shot ratio. Things you love to see. We had 4 goalkeeper saves to their 3. And not really many other stats of note. I would say that our good friend Sam CC Central put out there that Enzo Fernandez now has more assists in all competitions this season, 12, than he had the last 3 seasons combined at 11. So kind of continues on the theme from our last episode that like Enzo this year is definitely, we started talking about players who've been taking a step up under Enzo Maresca. He's starting to make that transition in a really, really happy way. There's another one that King Lamar on Reddit had, which I read it and I had to go back and verify it, and I verified that it is an accurate stat. Tosin, by starting and appearing in this Conference League tie, is now equal West Fofana's total Chelsea appearances.
Sorry, I had to sneeze at that diabolical
right?
statistics. Yeah, I mean, first of all, that's wild. And Tosin's been with us for how many seasons, Dan?
This not even a full season at this point.
Not even a full season. And Wes has been with us for 3 seasons. So, I think it says what it needs to say without saying
Wes has been
much.
for us for 2 seasons, just to clarify. It doesn't actually feel like it's longer.
No.
Which is, yeah.
22, 23, 23,
well, because technically
24,
he lost
25.
the whole season. Like he just was completely gone for a season.
Yeah, but he's been here for 3 seasons.
Fine, yeah. I would say like seasons where he actually played and could have been contributing in some capacity. I mean, he has a very short number of appearances for Chelsea Football Club at this point.
Yeah, correct. Go on, Tosin. See, best ability is what, Dan?
As Nick would say, at availability. Why don't you give me some shithouse moments of the match, though? Because I'm sure you have a couple. There's one that comes to mind for me immediately.
I mean, Tosin at the end, for me, this was a like, I'm not playing at the weekend, so I'm not worried about this. And Moises Caicedo, who is in the game inexplicably for reasons that pass understanding at this point, gets kicked the hell out of. And Tosin decides to run through the entire Djurgården team to go find our boy with the headband on the Djurgården side. I didn't remember his name. I think it was Stenson, maybe? It looks like Stenson. Yeah, it looks like Stenson, maybe. Yeah, something like that. Or is it Stahl? No, it's Stenson for sure because he had the longer hair. Yeah, that cat decided he was going to kick the hell out of Moises Caicedo, and Tosin was having 0% of it. So that was mine. I don't know if you have a different one, Nick.
So when Nico Jackson was running away from one of his goals, the camera was very much showing not only him, but the kid behind him in the broadcast, who absolutely was making, a very common gesture that you see in a football stadium.
Yes, it was.
It had me in stitches. I was laughing so damn hard, especially when they threw it back on replay. That was my
slow-mo. It was great.
That kid's become a GIF. That kid will be a GIF. He'll be a reel. He'll be a talk. That kid has a bright future ahead of himself. Just make sure to capture those image rights, my man. No other shithouse moments in the match?
No, those were mine. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I think we talked about this just a little bit, but I want to go deeper. The idea of this being like an ultimate get-right performance, we've kind of hinted at that Chelsea have 4 more matches left in the Premier League. We have this match here. I think we can argue that, just in case you're looking for a super tactical deep dive on this one, when Mark Cucurella is playing in the middle of the box, there's not a whole lot of tactics going on, and we're just kind of like vibing out. So just remember that. But in terms of setting the stage, you saw an Enzo Maresca who was clapping up Reggie as he sent him out on the pitch, was celebrating the goals, seemed to be in a better mood, better spirits. You had players who clearly were feeling themselves, celebrating a little bit more. Definitely felt like there was energy again in the side. Sancho seemed to have some swagger again. Reese had that ball over the top to Noni. Should have been a goal.
Has to be a goal.
And was an incredible over the top ball they had there. Maybe one of the best in balls he's played into the box in quite some time. Nico scoring that issue. I'm trying to make the case of, is this the type of ultimate get right game that Chelsea needed heading into a weekend where we play Liverpool? A really dead rubber game now in the midweek where we'll see a lot of rotation, with the view that Newcastle game of the weekend is going to be absolutely massive in terms of Chelsea's view for Champions League qualification next season.
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, it's been hard to say on these Conference League games all year, like what they mean in the broader picture. I mean, one, with the turf, you're just glad that there weren't any injuries. I mean, you and I are both scarred from seeing Ruben do his Achilles in Boston for the final whistle on Haight. And I think Sam in our group chat was very much of the same perspective, that as long as no one gets injured and you come away with a win off of a surface that is described as shitty in journalism terms, Naz reported on that this week, then I think you feel pretty good about the overall game. I mean, the fact that you were so dominant for so long in this game and were able to break through with different lineups essentially in different halves, I think was a good thing. The tempo and the different types of runs in this game, some runs coming from deep, some more direct passes into the center, some decent layoffs, stuff like that, I think we're all positive. But you and I both know that Liverpool is a whole different proposition than Djurgården is, right? So like I say all the positive things with the note that I don't think these are portable expectations from Thursday to Sunday. My hope is, and I'm going on BBC Sports World again before this Liverpool game on Sunday in an effort to kind of right the wrongs from the fall. But so if you're listening to BBC Sports World, your boy will be on there. I hope the team isn't overthinking this now. Like it's pretty straightforward what you have to do to get right. I think the only thing I take out of this game as a negative is the switch off at the end, where Djurgården started playing better in the second half, and then they started really peppering the goal at the end of the game. It's those moments why I have a little bit of like trust issues with this team, Dan, because it could have been 5, it could have been 6, it could have been 7, pretty easily, right? And the giving up of a goal in that context just doesn't make any sense to me, especially the way it was given up. So that's a lot of words to describe what is a relatively good night. Should be a relatively set fixture now. I don't see Djurgården coming back from 3 goals down against Chelsea at home. And we'll see. We'll see if the players who start Sunday can play with that sort of energy and enthusiasm and hopefully some weightlessness, because the expectations are that we probably aren't going to win that game, and maybe they can do better than that. So we'll see.
Again, our current run of form, as we reviewed last time against Liverpool, not so great. So, I mean,
not at all.
Even a draw would be progress at this point if we could manufacture that on the weekend. But, I think there's value to this. And I know we talked a little bit about like the subs and bringing on someone like Cole, and, does he need more rest, or does he potentially need to, just get a goal to get it going? I think we're on opposite sides of that. Like had no issue that he came on for 45 minutes in this game, because he was, I think, a couple inches away from getting a goal in this one, which just would have been so good to have him and Nico both feeling themselves a little bit. Again, I know it's your garden. I know, Nick, it's the Conference League, but having your players score and be involved, I mean, obviously an assist is super helpful to kind of make sure that he's involved and he's contributing, but like just the goal would have been really, really nice to see that happen again to end the drought and allow him to feel comfortable that like, hey, the world is not conspiring against me. Every keeper is not turning in to the absolute prime version of Petr Cech and going to make my life absolute hell for the remainder of the season. That's my view on it. Like, I think that was, I didn't see anybody get injured. I didn't see anybody have like a really rough time out. Nobody looked like they pulled anything. Everybody had a chance to rotate. I think the players who are probably super injury at risk, like Lavia, didn't feature. So, I mean, that's kind of like a positive thing there. I don't feel like there's a whole lot more you could ask for in a game like this.
No, I mean, obviously, you had a couple of guys stay home, and Nkunku and Sanchez who were feeling it. Lavia obviously doesn't feature in this. Like, I don't know why Moises Caicedo has to be a part of the second half. I don't think there was any risk in us losing this game, that his presence wasn't going to make some huge difference there. I understand taking off Reese. I understand trying to swap out, Madueke as much, get as much of a rhythm as you can into Sunday, at least, not go a full week without football. But I know Cole Palmer wants to play. I know that he loves football. I know that he wants to be a part of it, and I respect the hell out of that. I don't think you're seeing a guy who is clicking at all right now. And, the assist is very, very friendly at the end of the day. Like, it obviously didn't connect with Nico until the very last second after a huge catastrophic error was made. And so it's whatever happens to beat Liverpool is something that I am okay with, or even just get a results against Liverpool. But I'm looking at this guy and I'm seeing a guy that needs a freaking break badly. And, the Club World Cup is a month after the season is over, right? Like, it's just like, I feel like if the poor guy doesn't get a goal soon, it's just gonna be a really difficult, not that restful month between the end of the season and the start of the Club World Cup, which is really not even a rest at all. You're probably still training and doing all that stuff. So I don't know. I understand why people are on different sides of the fence here. He looks so just down on himself,
Yeah.
and I think the best Cole that we've seen is the guy who doesn't look like he's anything at all. Is just kind of floating out there and just kind of being him. And we haven't seen that guy for a little bit.
So I think on the thought around the next leg of this tie, what do we want to see in that? I mean, I think, I had a couple thoughts, like, let's get a clean sheet again. That would be super great. Particularly at Stamford Bridge at home for our faithful. Be nice to reward them for the work that they've done this season supporting the team. I think, let Dewsbury Hall and others who are not regulars are going to feature in a starting 11 for the Premier League for the remainder of the season have a run out. Yep. I think, to your point that you mentioned around, like, I think some of these starters, particularly the Newcastle game and a quick turn, I would be very, very limited into whom and how I use. Like, I think this is hey, Moises Caicedo, you get to take the day off. You've been working
Cole,
way too hard.
No Enzo, no Nico, no Reece James, no nothing. I want those boys at Newcastle shot out of a cannon and like really, really up for it, really fit, as rested as they can be. I mean, it's a season of football. They've been playing a season of football. They deserve a little bit of a rest and into what could be the first or second biggest game of our season coming up, right? I mean, like, not too much to overstate it at this point. We know the stakes and we know what the opponents are. Like, I want to see debuts. I want to see Sam Raksaki play in midfield. I want to see Reggie get a few more minutes. I want to see Ty and Josh dominate. Hopefully Nkunku can play striker. Hopefully you get whoever the winger is that isn't making the Premier League on Sunday goes out and balls out. Does a good job. KDH has been playing really well in the Conference League lately. Benoit's been playing really well. Tosin. You have those guys. Maybe Malo Gusto's healthy enough to play a little bit of Conference League and get the fitness up just in case we need him. I think it is a significantly pared down lineup. Maybe get Shimmy up top just to have some fun with it. But yeah, I mean, these boys, you're in the crunch now. You're fully in the crunch. You have probably done enough to coast through that game with ease and advance to the final. Do not overthink this. Just do not overthink it. You did the job. Move on.
Well, things to keep in mind there. We're going to take one last act break. When we get back, we're going to talk about a couple other things, particularly the Chelsea women's victory and maybe, just how things are going between Batiste and Fiorentina's. But that's going to do with this ad break promo. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hi, Nick. You've got some Sonia Bompastor quotes. You've got some nice little stats here. You want to talk about the Chelsea women's team, another historic season, earliest in the run up to the end of a season where a team has clinched the title, 6 back-to-back. It's just, again, there was a concern, rightfully so, at the beginning of the season, at the appointment hour, where people were wondering if Sonia Bompastor was the right hire to transition in from Emma Hayes. think it was all very fair kind of questions and concerns because Emma's a legend. And Soleiman Pastor is not a Chelsea legend yet, but she is definitely did the first year to a level outside of the Champions League where you could argue it has done a lot in that season to at minimum maintain standards that what it means to be a manager for the Chelsea women's team. So hats off to her, hats off to all the players. Really phenomenal season, competitive in everything, up until the semifinals and the Champions League here, running away with the league and not ever really looking back, which is also fucking fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, from day one to now, they've been champions the entire way. It's been very clear after they beat Arsenal early in the season, after they beat Manchester United earlier in the season, after they beat City in November, that this is the team. Like, they are the team. They are the ones. Sorry for the hard pivot off of the UECL, but for those who have been watching my YouTube videos steady all year, I'm super proud of this team. I know the Champions League over the last 2 weeks was super rough. It was super rough for me to watch, and I'm sure for all of us who really care about this team, it was certainly not what we had hoped for at that stage of the season. I think to go up to Manchester United, one of our tougher games every single season, to respond to a butt kicking. I mean, they really got beat bad by Barcelona. To respond in this way after Arsenal lose to Villa, who's one of the worst teams of the league, just get absolutely killed by Villa, to go out there and win it and to do it in kind of a gritty way, I think just shows the character of the team, shows the resilience within the group to respond to adversity, and shows that they are what they are, which are winners. All these guys are winners. They just win stuff. Like Lauren James has more WSL titles than Arsenal does. Like, they just win stuff, and it is so ridiculously impressive every single year at this time of the year in the league. Who's coming down the tracks? Oh, it's big bad Chelsea. It's winning time. So of course Chelsea are going to do what they do. Of course Chelsea are going to come back from insurmountable odds last season to put up like 17 goals in 3 games and win the league on goal difference. Of course they are. Of course they're going to do it. And of course this year they didn't need that. It's the earliest league title secured in a lot ever, in 2 more games than what Arsenal have done in the past. It's also a potential undefeated season, right? Like, this is insane. They've only drawn 3 games in the league, and it's it's a really tough league where there's stumbling blocks all over the place. Even the teams that are near the bottom can sometimes prove to be tricky. I think Sonia comes out and says it's a great achievement. It probably feels a bit unreal because, we were not expecting Arsenal to drop points tonight, but being away, being able to bounce back after the game on Sunday and be able to win again against a big team feels amazing. I told my team before the game, it's a big opportunity for us to take a step closer to the title. Even if I was not expecting this to be real and achieved tonight, so proud of my players, staff, all the club. To be able to achieve this with 2 games left is a great achievement. To be unbeaten, to still be unbeaten, and to achieve what we just achieved, something really good. It was not an easy game, obviously, but as a new manager to a new country, to adjust to a new league, I learned a lot. Alongside of me, I had a bunch of great players and great staff. She also mentioned this at the end for Chelsea women, and I do hope that at some point the Chelsea men resume this identity where she said, I think maybe for some people, they think just being Chelsea, it's really easy for us to achieve what we've achieved, but it's not. We've worked really hard and we've had the right mindset from the beginning of the season until now. And so I think, it's a lot of hard work that we put in every day. I'm really happy for that. I'm really pleased about it. How must it feel, Dan, to have people just assume because you're Chelsea, you're going to go run the league? It's a remarkable achievement. Again, I will have a full video out paying tribute to this team, but holy shit, what a team, what an organization, and what a group of players.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything else more to say other than that it's been fun to watch them this season. There's been some really, really great matches. I think there's been a wonderful integration in talent, both in younger players kind of coming up through the ranks, additions that have been brought in or a little more veteran to kind of stabilize the
Yep.
squad. I mean, it shows what's possible, Nick. If you maintain an identity, if you have a very clear philosophy, if you set an expectation for what performance is supposed to look like, things don't have to be alien at Chelsea Football Club. Just take a look at what the women's team has done for ages and ages. And again, I know people are going to hear that and be like, well, wait a minute, the women's game, Chelsea spent a lot of money to get ahead and, they flex financial weight. I'm like, yeah, goddamn right we do. Like as we should. If we have the money to pay and invest,
it's called ambition.
Pay players the appropriate wages to bring them in and to set a standard and improve the standard, I think that's a great thing. And so, I know it is harder to compete in the men's side than it is the women's side, just in terms of like scale and scope and the amount of heavyweights in comparison. And we're not a perfect team. You saw it happening against Barcelona. Like we are definitely we are a beatable entity. But we have found a way through the domestic competition 6 years running now to hit it out of the park every time. And even when it's gotten tight, whether it's down to goal difference or, just a slim margin of points on the last day of the season, we get it done in every way, which way, shape, or form. So, I think there is plenty that the sporting directors and the ownership group can take from this Chelsea women's team, what they've done there, what this new group has done together, and try to bring some of that in the men's team heading into next season to really just bring back true winning ways and winning culture to across all Chelsea Football Club.
They're a win away in the FA Cup final from a treble.
Don't tempt me with a good time, Nick. Come on.
Yeah, no, I mean it's bonkers, and they're going to play Manchester United again. It's going to be super tough. United play us tough, but I don't put anything past this Chelsea team. I fully expect them to lift the third trophy of the season and to make the Chelsea Stadium tour's life and that exploding trophy cabinet that they have in the museum very difficult to manage. That's our goal at the end of the season, Dan. We want to make that trophy case as full as humanly possible, because otherwise you just have dust in it like Tottenham, and that's not any fun. That's just bad. So thus ends my soliloquy to the Chelsea women. But I really do hope that if you haven't tuned in, that you will, because man, at a time where the men's team is kind of up and down, these guys are consistent greatness, and we're going to win that Champions League someday. I promise.
Last thing before we get you out of here is just a reminder on where Chelsea sit in the Conference League. Again, 4-1 up, which is a nice place to be on this, heading home to Stamford Bridge. Real Betis and Fiorentina got it on today, 2-1 to Betis. So the tie is still alive, Nick. And
sure
I think
is.
the real question now is who do you want to play?
I don't know. I said this in our group chat. Like, if we are playing our best, we're going to win. If we're not playing our best, probably Fiorentina. But, I think both these teams are going to be tough in the final. It's a one-off. Anything can happen. So I think probably Fiorentina. And look, they're going to be home for the second leg. Who knows?
Who knows indeed. Look, it's Chelsea versus anybody and everybody. So give me whoever comes out of that one and just let me get it done. We also were talking, though, about the Europa League, which is going to most likely feature Tottenham versus United.
Boo.
And I have to tell a story, Nick. There's a coworker on a call today at work. He's wearing a Tottenham shirt. Bad enough, right? Bad enough that he was wearing the Tottenham shirt on a call.
Ugh.
He was wearing a Tottenham hat indoors on a virtual call, showing off he loves Tottenham Football Club that much. There's no words.
Yeah,
so for that reason alone, let's go Man United. Get that Europa League done, my friends.
For sure. Yes. Battling for 16th and 17th in the Premier League. One of them's going to be in the Champions League next year. So yeah, cool. Cool.
Absolute bananas. But anyway, that's going to do it for this one because we exhausted all conversation as it relates to Chelsea Football Club on a Thursday night here in the U.S. But we hope you enjoy this one on Friday, May the 2nd, wherever you may be, or if you're listening to it later, enjoy it then too. But until next time, Chelsea fans, you know what to do. Keep the blue flag flying high.